Hi, it's the M.L.M for the Soul channel, and I do have a new topic for today. Before I begin, I want to just say, may the words and expressions of my mouth and the thoughts and meditations of my heart find favor and acceptance before you, Hashem. And some people I thank every time I do this video because they've inspired me. I hope they can inspire you as well. They are Rabbi Shalom Arush, Rabbi Lazer Brody, Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, Rabbi Eli Mansour, Rabbi Alon Anava, Rav Daniel Asor, Rabbi Yuval Ovadia, Nisim Baruch Black, David Sachs, and Jews for Judaism, Rabbi Michael Skobac. So we have one final topic I'm going to be doing from Parashat Devarim, because I said I had three that I'm going to do, so this is the third one. And again, it's from this wonderful sefer, للمود للمد, that has weekly insights on the Parasha that's really interesting. And also, if you've never checked out the site before, then you can check out my first video, and I will have a link directly below this video, so you don't have to search for it because it's 100 plus videos ago, Baruch Hashem, that I keep having ideas of what topics to do, and so you can check that out as well, so you know what I'm doing and what M.L.M is all about for the soul. So the topic for today is called Choose Your Company Wisely. Now that's an important thing because who we surround ourselves with really matters. And I'm going to find the page here where I can refer to it, to the area that I want to talk about. So this is in describing the travels of the Jews. Moshe refers to the Euphrates as the great river. And what attribute merited it the adjective great? Rashi comments that because it is mentioned together with the land of Israel, it merits that description. So when you put something together with something holy, you're putting together two things. That's why it was given that name. This rule is not limited to rivers. The same process can be applied to men. If they associate with great leaders and scholars, they can be called great too. For they are like satellites coming into contact with the sun. Some of the sun's illumination will be reflected upon them so that they too can dazzle. The Medrash compares these followers to servants of a king. When the king and his entourage pass by, the king's subjects bow down not only to the king, but automatically to his servants as well. And this is according to Rashi in Shavuos 47b. This is why the company one chooses is so important. If he selects the companionship of undesirable characters, their corrupt ways are bound to rub off on him. If, on the other hand, he seeks the company of Talmidei Chachamim and Baalei Midos, then he will gain for himself not only a good name, but also a model on which to base his own behavior. So if you associate yourself with great people, with learned people, with people who are going to uplift you spiritually, then that's going to add to your life. Like, mentioning the people that have inspired me. Every time I do this video, I mention them because those are people that I feel have a lot to share with the public and that you can learn from and grow from. If he is truly successful, then he can eventually become the guiding sun, the beneficial magnet for others. This is according to Rambam, Perek 6, Hilchos Deos, Halacha 1 and 2. So when you associate with people that are going to have good benefit for you in the long run, that's the most important thing. So, like I was reading here, it says, if you surround yourself with people that are not going to add to your life, and when I say add to your life, I'm not talking about your physical life, I'm not talking about exercise or stuff like that, or your eating habits, which of course are important, but I'm talking about your life in the future, in the next world, in Olam Haba. We have to really focus on that aspect of our lives, that's what we're leading up to. This is just the temporary place. This is not the this is just a short-term, temporary living place. It's not where we end up, because our physical bodies don't last forever. Our soul does. So yeah, and that's interesting because if you look in the Parasha too, where in a different Parasha where I forget which one it was, where they're talking about the Shvatim, the tribes, how certain people live next to each other, And when you have your neighbors can influence each other, especially if you're around them and you talk to them and you So, like it was saying here, woe to wicked and woe to your neighbor. So, and the same goes vice versa. So, if they have certain habits and styles of living and thoughts and ideas that they share with you that are not conforming to a Torah true lifestyle, then you're going to be influenced because you're spending time with them. So the idea is to spend time with people that are going to uplift you, support you, and also help you along your journey, because you may sometimes have, peaks and valleys, ups and downs, things that can make you kind of influence you to not do what's right. And what's right doesn't mean in my eyes. It means in the eyes of Hashem. And sometimes you'll see people who you think are, quote unquote, observant, and they keep certain things, but then you see them do other things that lead you to think otherwise, but you see they become role models. That's the idea, is you have to have really the true role models. And it's very hard in this day and age because there's a lot of people that, they might do a lot of things that are good, but then there's other things that they're not as strong in, that the Yetzer Hara has an influence on them, so they're not realizing that other people see them and think like, oh, I guess if she or he is doing this, then it must be okay. But that isn't necessarily true when you see that. So the idea is, don't just take it for what it is, although that's how we look at things. You have a role model, you have someone who you look up to, and then when they kind of fall from the high, place that they're in, something happens and all of a sudden they get bad press, or they did something that wasn't right and they got caught, then all of a sudden you lose faith, and then you say, wow, like if they fell from their good graces, then, and I looked up to them, wow, like what was I thinking? And sometimes we don't always know. Like they seem fine, and then 1 minute they're this way, next minute they're that. So you have to be really cautious, especially if they're doing something that's against halacha that you see. They're doing something against the Torah. Like for example, a woman who's not observing tznius properly, she could be doing most of it, but maybe there's certain things that she's more lax in, and then you see it, and they're supposedly someone in the community that you respect, and then you figure then it must be okay. But instead of doing that, you should look to someone who can explain the laws to you and say, well, I saw so-and-so. Of course, you don't say a name, I saw someone dressed like this, is that okay? And then they'll tell you yes or no, depending on what it is you're asking. So it's important. So we really need to keep that in mind, that we need to really choose our company wisely, and also be aware that even a company you think may be good for you might not be perfect, and you have to watch and be careful that you don't get influenced by the wrong crowd, so to speak, because they can really bring you down. Like they say, misery loves company, right? So if someone's miserable, they don't want you to be happy or content or, satisfied with your life. They want you to also. So they want to bring you down to their level, because then they're more comfortable because they have someone else who's feeling the same way as them, and that's not a good thing either. So I just want to say in closing that I hope that you will find the right company to associate with, people that have Yirah Shamayim, people that observe the Torah and the mitzvos, and that we will merit, all of us, to live and see the coming of Mashiach speedily in our days, and the rebuilding of our final and everlasting Beis HaMikdash. Thanks for Amen, and thank you for watching.